if you're tired of being stuck at your current chess level, in this video you're gonna learn how to play chess like a grandmaster. What's up, chess player? It's day number 6 of my Journey to Grandmaster challenge. I'm gonna play against Stockfish 2600 rated level. I mean, that is incredible, and I'm 100% sure you're gonna learn so much of useful tips and tricks from me and from Stockfish. Let's see who is gonna be stronger today. Because 2600, that is a huge level, but that's an exactly one I need to play to achieve the Grandmaster norm in the tournament. So that's why I thought that's a very interesting exercise for me. I'm gonna just play this rapid game against Stockfish. I'm gonna start with the move d4. I'm gonna play as white because, well, I'm a human being. I should have a little bit of an advantage comparing to the computer. Okay, I'm gonna play knight to f3. See what he does. d5, c6. Okay, c6. That is yeah, a little bit unexpected, but I don't think it's going to be something else rather than d5 anyway. And then we are going to have the Slav defense. No, he's playing e6. Then it's going to be semi-Slav, like we play knight c3. But now he has to play d5. No, he just plays bishop e7. Wow. I mean, if I would be playing against a human being, I would just call him silly and play e4, grab the entire center. You'll want to do that. I assume there are some ideas like d5, e5, knight e4, but I still want to do that anyway. I mean, now you have to play, now you have to play d5, otherwise you don't get anything at all. But I want to go forward. I want to be as active as possible. It's always my philosophy, and that's what I'm doing here. So you want to try to find the most active move and try to make it work. Only if it doesn't work, then you continue with everything else. For example, here, taken on e4 is objectively the most active move because the most active opportunities are checks, captures, and threats. I don't have any checks, but I can grab the knight, but I don't like it because after takes, my knight doesn't have a good square. If I would be able to play knight g5 or knight d2, everything would be perfect. But knight d2 is not possible because d4 pawn is hanging, and knight g5 is not possible because he's gonna grab my knight. And knight g1, that's not what you want to play. Okay, so that means I have to continue my development. I like the move bishop d3 and queen c2. Probably queen c2 is a little bit more logical. Let me do that. Maybe he wants to win my knight with queen a5. No, he wants just to take. Yeah, from this perspective, I really am happy that I played queen c2 and not bishop d3, because if bishop d3 and then d takes c, I'm just wasting the tempo. And now if he takes on c4, I'm not wasting the tempo. And if he doesn't, I can just take on d5 myself. Yeah, okay, he plays c5 and fights for the center immediately. I do feel like we have a transposition into some other opening. I still control the center, right? Let me take on d5. Yeah, I understand that he wants to play knight c6 now and put pressure on my center, but as long as there is a pawn on d5, that is not allowing him to create a lot of pressure on the d4 pawn. The question is, where should my bishop go here? Yeah, maybe eventually my queen wouldn't be that great on c2 because he's gonna play rook c8, and then yeah, my queen might be in trouble. Maybe I shouldn't have played c takes d because it helps now this bishop is opened. Probably want to play bishop e2 because after bishop d3, anyway he plays knight c6, threatening c takes d, and knight b4, and that's very, very annoying. So I'm gonna play bishop e2 in the first place. Although that's of course less active than bishop d3. c4, wow, that is some kind of a positional masterpiece the engine wants to play, claiming that I have a very poor bishop there and he wants to attack on the queen side. I have much more space and more pawns on the king side, so I definitely have to play there. The question is, how can I do that? I would be happy to play f2, f4, but unfortunately the knight is there, not allowing me to do that. So I have to castle, play knight to e1, and then f4, f5. That should be the plan. I don't see anything else. And saying that this queenside activity from my opponent is not really that dangerous. Normally, such a closed position is a type of position where humans have more chances against the engine because engines are terribly strong in the open position where there are 10 million tactics in every move. But when the position is closed and it's more about positional understanding, then the engines, at least earlier, tended to be not that strong. Nowadays, of course, they understand everything and everywhere and are always and always stronger than we are human beings, but at least it's 2600, not 3400 rated stockfish, so maybe I have a hope. Okay, I really like to play knight to e1 that, like, you have this pawn structure, there's c3, d4, and e5 pawn chain, and that is like a hint for you to understand where you should play, and that is exactly what I want to do. I want to continue this pawn chain with a move f4, f5, and so on, and go for it. I mean, my opponent's counterattack basically is not existent yet. He wants to probably play b5, b4. Maybe I should play rook b1. Maybe I should play a4, but I don't really want to waste time and create weaknesses in my camp because of, for example, after a4, he can play knight a5 and then knight b3 is coming. Although that's a closing position, I'm not sure I'm really afraid of that. Also, I have bishop e3, and then after knight b3, I can just play rook b1. That really reminds me of the Botvinnik Capablanca game, very famous one, where Botvinnik sacrificed that pawn on a4 and just crushed Capablanca on the king side with his attack. But I'm afraid Stockfish is stronger than Capablanca. Yeah, so his threat is b5. I can still play a3, but then, yeah, that's somehow less active. Alternatively, I can just forget about that and play f4, b5, f5. Now if he plays b4, I have already f6, and that must be winning. Bishop h6, gf, bishop h6, then, yeah, I mean, that should be huge. I don't see any direct wins, but such an open king, I cannot believe it can survive. But I was thinking maybe after f5 he has bishop at g5, and then, yeah, I can still play f6 probably. The same idea, sacrificing that pawn. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I really want to see what happens in this attack, because that feels very promising. Yeah, he plays f6 immediately. Okay. Yeah, f6 is a good move, because how do I continue the attack now? Kind of, kind of stopping it. I cannot play f5 and e6 simultaneously. And I never want to take on f6, obviously. So maybe for now I'm gonna play rook to b1. Although, yeah, if he plays g6, how do I stop bishop f5? How do I handle it? g4. Yeah, maybe I play g4 after g6. Takes, but yeah, if I expose my king that much, I might get into trouble. If he takes on e5 right now, it shouldn't be a threat for me, because I'm gonna have a protected passer. Why should it be bad for me? I can just play knight s3 and put my knight back. Then maybe I want to play knight h4. Yeah, knight f3 seems like a reasonable move. Now maybe I have the f5 idea. Okay, a6. I'm not sure why he doesn't play b5 immediately. Maybe I should play a4 and bishop a3 just to exchange that bishop, because my bishop on c1, dark squares bishop, is not making much sense. I mean, all of my pawns are on the dark squares. And, otherwise, if I play f5 and e6, then maybe the situation would change and dark squares bishop would matter. Although, still difficult to take advantage of that. The alternative of knight h4, yeah, doesn't really work because he can take on e5 and then my knight is hanging. Yeah, let me play a4, because first it stops the b5 counterplay just for one move, and then it prepares the move bishop a3. But I see the strategy of my opponent. He just wants to stop this my counterplay with his moves. Yeah, he actually goes for that. Yeah, this bishop on f5 is pretty annoying. But I can still play bishop a3 and then bishop f5, queen to b2. Queen is pretty good on b2. Takes. Yeah, that makes sense that he takes there first. By the way, I really enjoy using the Chestnut Evo board for the purposes of playing this game. You could see that all of the moves are happening smoothly. I don't have any difficulties, and I have a real board experience, which is incredibly important for me as a part of my preparation for the Grandmaster tournament that is coming next, and well, just in general for my training and the journey to Grandmaster. So I really want to say thank you to the sponsor of this video, the Chestnut company that makes these videos possible for me, makes this entire journey possible for me in some way. So if you are interested in having one of their products, Chestnut Evo is their newest one, but they also have Chestnut Air, Chestnut Pro. You are gonna have a huge discount using the promo code Journey to Grandmaster, as well as just using the link in the description. Okay, so my opponent plays rook to b8 and he still wants to play b5. That is very, very logical. I thought that maybe at some point I'm gonna play e takes f and knight e5. But that does give some counter chances. My knight is very powerful on e5 though, and then the bishop is coming to f3, attacking the d5 pawn, although he's gonna have time for bishop f5 and bishop e4. That's very annoying. Well, maybe not necessarily, because once I play bishop e4, there is going to be knight d7 fork. Okay, let me go for it. I feel like cementing my knight on e5 is going to be beneficial for me. He actually takes with the rook. I was rather expecting queen takes. Anyway, the pawn on e4 is hanging, and I wanted to play knight e5 anyway, so let me go for it. Bishop f5, I expect it to happen. No, he plays queen d6. Yeah, my rook is hanging. Somehow I want to play bishop queen to b2 now, because it avoids bishop f5 with a tempo, and then I still have time to play bishop f3. Ah, no, wait. Bishop f3, he has... No, actually rook f4 is not possible. I'm gonna have bishop takes d5, and if he plays bishop f5, it's not possible anyway, because he blocks his rook. Yeah, then I really want to play queen to b2. Although I can also play queen to d2, with the same idea. Or even queen to d1, I'm not sure where the queen should go. I like the fact that after queen d2, I'm defending the pawn on f4. But I'm not... Wait a second, I'm stupid. My rook on a3 is hanging. Always think about your opponent's threat. That's why I wanted to play queen to b2 in the first place. Yeah, let me do that. b5 takes. If he plays rook takes b5, that shouldn't be dangerous. I just play queen a1, let's say, and that a6 pawn is going to be always and always a weakness. And if he takes with the pawn, then I have an open a file for my rook. Although b4 is still coming. That is annoying. And then the d4 pawn is going to be weakness, and then the c4 pawn is going to be a passer. Somehow my attack wasn't that successful as it seemed to be, and his counterattack is still coming. Even though he's not attacking the king, sooner or later it's going to be annoying. Alternative is just to play rook a2, let's say, to be able to play rook b2 later on. But that still doesn't stop the move b4. Anyway, let me do it. Rook a1 has a disadvantage that I'm not going to be able to play rook b1 later on. That's why I played rook b2. Sorry, rook a2 to be able to play rook b2. Doesn't care, just goes for it. Well, I definitely have to take. Yeah, and I suppose he doesn't play bishop f5, because in this case I'm gonna have a6 square for my rook. And on a6, the rook would be pinning the knight on c6, creating difficulties for him. So he just eliminates that opportunity for me. Well, I can make it possible though, maybe, with the move bishop to g4, but he's faster. With b4 he already creates a threat of playing b3, and I don't absolutely have any time to exchange bishops, unfortunately. Yeah, this variation rook is misplaced on a2 actually. Okay, then it means I have to play queen d2. So that the d4 pawn is protected, but he still goes for b4 and he achieves his goal. Whereas I don't achieve anything. Wait, I can actually take on d6. Queen takes, pawn takes, b4, but he has well, c3. It's kind of a weakness, but without this knight on e5, my entire position is not that solid anymore. Although his king is also pretty open. Yeah, that's a choice, whether I play here knight takes c6 or I play c takes b. It happens after c takes b. Because rook takes b4 is actually not possible. After knight c6, he loses a piece. Knight takes b4, just rook b2. I don't feel it's such a huge problem. Let me just take it. Queen takes b4. Yeah, hopefully I'm not that bad in that endgame. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I really think I have to take here. Otherwise he has too much of initiative. Now the question is whether he takes with rook or with a knight. Because here I wanted to play rook b2. Maybe he has... Well, he does have that weakness on d5 too. Well, I'm always forgetting about the move c3 with the tempo. That's very annoying. Maybe I play rook a7 and rook c7 and then guarding the c file from there, because cannot really get control of the c file. What he can do is play knight c2 and attack my pawn on d4, but I'm gonna play bishop f3 and attack his pawn on d5. Let me go for that, because at least it's something active I can do. I had also the move rook b1, but it always... knight c6. Yeah, knight c6. It's not a move I'm happy to see. I'm just one tempo short with that rook c7 idea, because now he can get control of the c file, and then my idea doesn't work anymore. I do have some counterplay, but with this c pawn coming so fast, I'm not sure it's enough. Okay, do I have any alternative to knight c6? Because my pawn on d4 is hanging, so if I play rook c7, he plays knight takes d4, and I'm just one tempo short. That's enough. F3, he just takes. Yeah, so I have to take. Takes it back. And now I wanted to play bishop f3. He plays bishop e6, I play rook e1. c3, I play rook takes e6, and I'm in time. Rook takes e6, bishop takes d5, c2, takes e6. Maybe I'm not in time, because he has rook b1 in the end. That is a very unfortunate variation. Okay, if I play rook e7 with the same idea, but this pawn is so strong. I don't like it. I think I'm in trouble. Okay, I have to create counterplay, otherwise I don't have anything at all. He plays bishop e6, I'm pretty sure. No, he plays king h8 and just wait a second. It cannot be that bad. I just take on d5 now. What? Why didn't he play bishop e6? And what's wrong with bishop takes d5 now? I mean, I understand he played rook d6, but I'm taking on c4, I'm a pawn up. What? I don't get it. Maybe I'm wondering something very obvious, but my king is not available for him, otherwise I don't see anything at all he can do. Rook d6. What's going on? And I'm just a pawn up. I mean, I understand he's gonna have some annoying counterplay, but I mean, I'm already thinking in terms of whether I can play for a win or not in terms of how I don't lose. I mean, 9600. That was weird. Let me know in the comments whether I have missed something here that I shouldn't have missed. Okay, so now rook c7 seems to be a move. Because bishop b7 is actually not that great for him. I have rook b1. Winning that bishop. And rook b2 is not possible because I'm attacking the bishop. Rook d2. Yeah, rook d2 is a little bit annoying because I don't have any way to get control of that long diagonal. Like if I am able to play bishop c6, let's say, then I'm definitely in good shape, but I'm not. Do have bishop a6 move. Just exchanging the bishops. I mean, that should be definitely a draw. And I should speed up also because, well, bishop a6, I have rook a. He has rook a4. He has rook a4. Okay, then I guess I should just play bishop e2, bishop f3, and make sure I don't lose here without the time. That is the safest option because if you allow your opponents to control that diagonal and put the rooks on the second rank, that is incredibly dangerous. Okay, do I have time to still somehow not lose the pawn? Because after bishop f3, he can just take it. If I play g3, that seems to be the only way. Then, yeah, somehow it can get dangerous. It's 20 seconds on the clock. I'm not taking that risk. I'm pretty sure objectively that's still equal anyway, but because he has the activity to compensate. Okay, he doesn't play that. Now I feel more confident in playing g3 because the diagonal is secured. He doesn't have any bishop h3 anymore. And here I can just play king to g2. Maybe not. 8 seconds. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have any time. I start seeing some ghosts here. Like, yeah, like that. But I really hope I'm not blundering here anything. Okay, with one rook, at least I can not lose anymore. I hope. Have to be careful with the time. But rook d2, I actually have bishop e2, right? Bishop c4, I have rook e7. I just protect it, and then it's not that dangerous. And then I'm still a pawn up. That's better than nothing. Bishop e6, okay, he's not even going for it, so I'm gonna play rook e7. Making sure I control everything. Okay, now I'm a healthy pawn up. The question is, do I have any chances to convert it? I don't really think so. But I have to try. I have to try. I'm gonna start with a move g4. Bishop c4. Wait a second. What about... Ah, okay, that's going into the rook game. I was hoping for king e1, but now that the f4 pawn is hanging, I can just play rook c2. Then let me just play king f3 as a check. Okay, not going for a check. Then let me play h4, h6. How do I create any pressure? Maybe g6 pawn be weak. I just play king to e3. Seconds, I really need to speed up. And then if I play bishop to d3 in the right moment, okay. Bishop d3 now. d6. h5, he just takes. Well, I do get a passer. Let me play h5. Yeah, the problem is I don't really have any time to think. The good thing is I'm sure I cannot lose, so that gives me some confidence. Wait a second, I have bishop g6 idea, right? Then at least everything is very secured. And I have rook h7 idea. Maybe I'm blundering rook e6 and that endgame is a draw. But okay, that is a risk I can take. I can live with. And I can also play f5 just to make sure that everything is protected for eternity and he cannot create any problems for me. And now also the rook cannot really move because f6 would be very dangerous. Yeah, so I can just improve my king. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he plays the endgame not really the way he could. Yeah, maybe he wants to attack from the f4 square. Maybe I have underestimated it. Okay. Oh, I don't have any time. Fortunately, my battery died at some point, and I'm not even sure at which point. I just shuffled the pieces around a little bit, not to lose on time, while I was changing the battery. So I have just 3 seconds. I hope it's still not a threefold repetition, because I really want to try that rook h7 idea in the right moment. Question is, how do I make it possible? I need to hide my king somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't have played all of that in the first place. My king was good, and I should have just played. Okay, now rook h7. Can I do that? He's not attacking my. I don't see why I cannot play that. Takes, I just take it back. I protect that. In a fade. Okay, but now I definitely can take the pawn, right? Pawn is unprotected, king g7, I have rook h7 check. Or bishop g8. Oh my god. Those are cheap computer tricks. Wow, that's incredible. And now he threatens to play king g7, right? So I have to play rook to h8 and sacrifice the rook. Fortunately, I'm not losing here at least. And I still have the upper hand, I hope, because I do have two pawns there. Okay, guess I have to take 2 pawns and the bishop. That must be a draw. Yeah, he can just sacrifice the rook or f pawn, and then bishop is the wrong square, so I cannot do anything. But okay, a draw against a computer of 2600. I'm pretty satisfied with that. We have played a very good game. I do feel that he didn't play to the highest of his potential in the endgame, but that's not my problem. I need to be careful not to lose all of the pawns, because I'm suddenly way too aggressive. Yeah, just play bishop before. In f7. Well, now I can play h7. And then bishop d5 check. Pushing that king away. The problem is I cannot make any progress at all because, yeah, he controls all of the promotion squares, and I cannot create any problems with my king. There is no Zugzwang here, absolutely no idea. So we need to achieve some kind of threefold repetition here. But the problem with the computer, he never wants to make a draw, so he's gonna use all of those moves available for him. That is, of course, pretty annoying. I offer a draw. He is not listening to me. He's even giving checks. That's mean. Okay, he finally takes, and yeah, he waited for me to go back so that I cannot protect, and then he can just win that pawn. Just one tempo short, bishop g6. But chess is always a tragedy on one tempo. Okay, fair enough. Here you have it. You can really fight against the stockfish. Of course, if it's not like the highest level, 3400, that would be absolutely crazy. But 2600, I mean, that is very high level. That is a level I need to achieve. And let me know in the comments what you feel about this game, what you have learned throughout this one. I really hope it was useful for you. And in this video, you're gonna see how I play against one of our subscriber, the opening that is so underrated, you must definitely take a look at it, and we both shared our thought process throughout the game so you can compare it and learn out of it.